It's about 6:15 in Santa Monica. I woke up thinking about my grandma, Min Himmelman, who was a very unique woman. She was at the vanguard of the Minneapolis civil rights movement. And a lot of people might think, civil rights, Minneapolis, what's the connection? It's not Alabama or Mississippi, but Minneapolis, like a lot of places, is and was a very segregated place. And she worked against that. She would regularly have groups of black people from a church at her house, her little apartment. She'd serve them Jewish foods like kugel and Blintzes, and she'd serve them little cups of tea, and she'd help them get organized because she was a pretty organized person herself. And one thing that she understood deeply and intrinsically is that the other, that people who were unlike her, had core values that were identical, in the sense that people who are racist, fundamentally racist, they start with this idea that people who are not like them do not, for example, feel the same way about their children. Like, they don't love their children like we do. It's a different story with them. That is so insane, but that's where it starts. You start to sort of dehumanize people by taking away this sense of who they love and what they laugh at and what they live for. I think that people share that. It's a core value across the boundaries, and my grandma knew that with every fiber of her being. One day she brought this guy to my house named Lester Williams, and Lester was this tall guy with a big tall afro. He was about 65, carrying a big black guitar case. He came to my house in a Cadillac on a Sunday morning. He said, "Peter, I'm going to teach you some big chords." And I'm like, well, cool guy, but not that interested in cars. And what he meant was, I'm going to teach you some big chords on guitar, diminished chords, augmented chords, beautiful lilting major 9 chords. These were things I did not pick up from my Black Sabbath records. And every time I open my guitar case, I think about Lester Williams, who one day, after teaching me for about 6 months of Sundays, just took off for West Texas, and I never really heard from him again. But I think about him every time I hold my guitar, and I'll think about him again today.